Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to get back on the channel. Connan Murray, he's now 8-0 with one knockout. And yes, pleasure getting you back on after your big win on the weekend, mate.
Yeah, no problem. Pleasure to be on here again. Pleasure to speak to you again.
Good stuff. Yeah, so before we get into the fight itself, so we done the interview, and then you messaged me about 20 minutes later saying Kemsky pulled out.
Yeah, it just I didn't know what was happening, so we was it opponents changed about three times to be fair, so it was just crazy. I don't know who was coming or going, so we just as long as someone was there to fight, it didn't matter. But yeah, we got Edgar in the end, so yeah, job's a good one.
Yeah, indeed. And uh I believe you kicked the show off, didn't you? You were the first fight.
Yeah, that was the first fight on. So yeah, that was nice to be the first fight on, so I could sit back and enjoy the rest of the show. To be fair.
Yeah. I mean, 60-54. Talk about the whole, like, I mean, when you walked out and you saw all those cameras in front of you. Yeah, talk about that feeling as you were walking to the ring.
Yeah, so do you know what? It didn't feel any different to me. You sort of when you're doing your walkout and you're prepping for a fight, your body's preparing for a fight, and that's you sort of get all them natural instincts kick in, um, and you prepare to go to war. So really, all that sort of stuff, you numb to it because you're preparing for combat. So your body just naturally switches into that mode. So all that sort of stuff just seems like a blur. I'm just walking down for a fight. Makes no
Yes,
difference if the cameras are or not.
yeah, so you don't really like you didn't look up at like like the whole arena sort of thing, like you were just just calm and composed.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and I believe that's just how you should be. I mean, if you let things like that get to you, um, maybe them sort of platforms aren't for you. So, yeah, just take it as its stride. Great opportunity. Take it all in. Great to have be in such a big arena and have the opportunity. But as I said, didn't let it get to me at all.
Yeah, and as soon as that opening bell, uh as soon as that first round went, talk us through the fight round by round and how you felt in the fight.
So I never, to be honest with the fight, I never really come out of first gear really. The game plan was to just throw shots, throw a few shots, and move out. Um, so Steffi's been to a few shows where Edgar's fought, and it can be super erratic, and you don't really know what's going to come from him each round. So we just decided just to throw some good shots, keep him at bay, keep him on the jab, and just complete the rounds. Not trying. Steffi was saying lot to me in the corner, saying, "Don't listen to the crowd. Don't get hyped up by the crowd. Throw your shots, move out. Throw your shots, move out, because you'll wing unorthodox shots that you're not used to seeing or won't ever probably see again." He's just really like erratic sort of character. So yeah, that was the game plan. The first round, I expected a little bit more from him from the first round, so I was a little bit disappointed. I thought I was going to have a little bit more of an exchange. Felt like I caught him with a few good body shots straight away, and sort of didn't really come into the fight at all, really.
Yeah, it was sort of on the move, sort of, but with you, you just landed your shots, and then you took a step back. That's what you was that. You said that a minute ago. That was the plan. Do your work, get out there, then go again.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the game plan. There was loads more gears in the tank to do a second phase, do a third phase of attack. But as I said, I was boxing to instruction. That was the game plan. We didn't want to end up having massive exchanges with him just because of how erratic he was, or what he's been seen to have been. because he definitely didn't show any signs of really wanting exchanges with me in that fight personally. But yeah, so we just didn't want to look. I'm on a good streak. I'm winning most all my rounds comfortably for all my fights. There was no point. There was no reason to take a risk with getting caught with anything silly, just for the sake of trying to get a second phase in.
Yeah, I mean, he's a sort of opponent that you won't really come across. Uh, there's not many fighters out there like that, Edgar. I mean, he's just he's sort of, I would say, awkward, unpredictable, sort of.
Yeah, exactly, and that's sort of how we devised the sort of last minute game plan because we didn't really get a chance to really prep for someone like that anyway. Yeah, we just look. I was winning the rounds comfortably. There was never anything really dangerous coming back. And yeah, that's just how the fight went. I did expect a little bit more coming back, but as I said, I'm assuming the early but the power shots that went in early sort of like
Slowed him down.
slowed him down straight away, or maybe he just didn't want to exchange after
Hmm.
feeling the shots. But yeah, that tends to be what I got from the fight. To be honest, I was happy with the performance in the way that I won every round. I was a little bit disappointed with how the fight when I did want to show how powerful I was and have a little bit of a dogfight, but it takes two to tango, and it wasn't that night, unfortunately.
I mean, I don't think you should be too harsh on yourself. You dominated the fight. You didn't get hit, which is always a bonus.
Yeah, got headbutted a few times.
Yeah, he I wouldn't say dirty, but like he did hold quite a lot.
Held quite a lot, and he coming in low and then coming up high and catch me with the top of his head. But other than that, yeah, no. I didn't. I think he must have caught me with one good shot where I got a bit greedy with the exchange through 4 or 5, which was against the game plan, to be honest. And I did get told off by my corner for that as well.
But yeah, overall, you kicked off the show with a good performance, and it was a good show throughout. Of course, I can imagine you sat back and watched both your gym mates, well, stable mates, whatever you call them. Both had tough fights, of course.
Yeah,
So did you sit back and watch them?
yeah. I sat back and watched Jimmy's in the changing rooms with Terry and that. And that was a cracking performance. As I knew that was going to be the outcome. Jimmy has trained unbelievably hard. He was in unbelievable shape. And if you've seen any of Jimmy's fights previous, he gets stronger as the fight progresses. And I know, don't want to sound this as a criticism to Campbell, but some of his fights that I've watched, he does tend to slow down. He starts really strong and slows down a little bit. So I
Yeah,
feel like
I thought the same.
So I thought, obviously, the two fighters' chemistry of how they perform just favoured Jimmy over 10 rounds. Um, so yeah, I wasn't surprised by that at all. So I was really happy for Jimmy. He's a lovely lad. He trains really hard, and he's a good friend of mine. So
What
really
did
happy
you
with that result.
what did you score the fight? Because I had 97, 93 to Jimmy. And yeah, I thought in that 10th round, Jimmy definitely had him going, didn't he?
Yeah, he was going a bit. Fair play to Campbell. Look, he did better than what I anticipated he would do. So he showed heart. He showed a good chin. He showed that he can stay in there for 10, although it was sketchy at times. And he Campbell will come again. So yeah, it was just Jimmy's night. Jimmy trained really hard. It suited Jimmy's style. He was fit as a fiddle. He gets stronger as the fight goes on. As I said, just for credit to Campbell, he stayed in there. But I had Campbell only winning 2 rounds out of the 10, and they were the
Fair
early
enough.
ones.
But I would say maybe 8-2 or 7-3, but
Yeah,
other than that, I can't see it any closer than
nothing more.
7-3.
Nothing more than that. Yeah, I'd
How
agree
did
with
one
you
have,
there.
I swear one had like 97, 96 or something.
I know, I know. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of them rounds were fairly close, but like
Jimmy
there
was
was
landing.
a clear winner. There was a clear winner, regardless of it being close. Campbell put a lot of output in to a lot of rounds that didn't really like hit arms and hit glove, and were just winging shots in. And I always thought the smarter work was coming from Jimmy.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, mate. I agree. And I don't know how Campbell 41,
I think with like it's hard to say because it wasn't a close fight, but it was a competitive fight.
but I think
And
Campbell was like, I would say throwing more shots, but most of them weren't even landing.
yeah, so so in my opinion, with that, as I said, it wasn't a close fight in terms of rounds, but so it was competitive. And I feel like when you're a fighter and you've had a competitive fight, you always think like you're the one that's come on top.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I can see why he thought he would have won the fight in his own mind from a boxer's perspective, but there was no way he won the fight.
Mm.
Do you get what I mean?
No, 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 I understand
Yeah,
because as a fighter, when you're in there, you think you just think you're doing more than you actually are sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, and then do you feel like that? Because I've heard people saying, especially from like Hatton's team, saying a rematch or
Yeah,
do
I
you
think
think they'll rematch?
the fight the fight was good. The fight was a great fight. So I would love to obviously see a rematch because it was a great fight, and that's what, as a boxing fan, that's what we want to see. Great fights. We want to see if Campbell can rise to the occasion. We want to see if Jimmy can do the same again. Do you know what I mean? Which I think he can. And you know what? It's a good fight. It's a good fight for both the fighters, regardless of outcome. So I would like to see it again, absolutely. And I'm sure everyone who was at Sheffield Arena that night would love to
Hmm.
see that fight again as well.
Yeah. And then of course Terry unfortunately lost to Sandy Ryan. Um what was your thoughts on that fight?
Yeah, I think Sandy was too big and too strong. Um, I feel like Terry dared to be great, and that's why she's such a respected champion because she dared to be great. It's not a weight class. She's come up two weight classes before, won the title, went to pick up that title against Sandy Ryan. She's just daring to be great. She's pursuing legacy, and you can't knock that. Just unfortunately on the night, Sandy was too big and too strong, and I think that just warrants Terry tried that. It didn't work. There's avenues now where she can go back to a natural weight where she makes a weight cut and comes in a little bit heavier on the night. And I think that's all that all the way the story goes with that one, to be honest. So I don't think, as I said, it's unfortunate. I think Steffi did the right thing. I don't think there was any arguments from Terry in terms of the fight getting stopped. She's fit and healthy. Obviously, as a respectable champion, when they take a loss, it does hit them hard. But she'll come again, and I think she'll be coming back in her own in a lighter weight class where she has to make a weight cut, and then comes in a little bit heavier on the night.
Yeah, I mean I agree, but I mean I think in that opening round I thought she was doing quite well.
Oh yeah, she's doing fantastic. She's tough. She's tough, Terry. She's tough. She's strong. She's powerful. But as I said, in that weight class, these girls like Sandy would have made a weight cut, come on, made a weight on the scales, and then bulked up, and Terry wouldn't have done that. So although Terry's strong and powerful, she's not compared to those bigger girls, and that's how it went. And I
Because
think we all
isn't
know that.
Terry hasn't Terry got the WBO at I forgot what weight now.
The weight above. Yeah, so I'm not sure what. As I said, I've not really discussed it too much. To be honest, I went after that fight. I went in and checked if Terry was okay. She was fine. Obviously, looked really disappointed and a bit gutted, as you would be. But she was fit. She was healthy. She was fine. And then I sort of watched the Smith Dalton fight on my phone on the way back before it got chaos trying to get out.
Mm. What was your thoughts on Dalton's performance? Of course, a big statement from him, wasn't it?
He's a beast. He's a beast. He's an absolute beast. That body shot was just, yeah, some serious leverage on that body shot. Um, I think it was a massive statement. I think it's a class act and definitely one to keep an eye on. Because yeah, that was a very good stoppage against a very good opponent.
Yeah, I would like to see Azim v Dalton Smith, and I know they're both like Azim's early on in his career. I think
Yeah,
they'll wait for that. They won't jump into it straight away next. You know what I mean? They'll wait a while,
yeah,
like
I think so
2 years
too.
until that
I
happens.
think so
But
too. Well,
who do you
obviously,
think?
as a boxing fan, you want to see them fights, obviously, but them fights can be so much bigger because them two, they both great fighters. So that fight can be so much bigger when they've both picked up a little bit more through the ranks. Obviously Smith's already up there to be honest, but
Mm,
obviously if he picks up a few more shiny belts and stuff, which he's very capable of doing, that fight could be very big in the future, and I think it'd be silly to do it now.
yeah.
Although with being greedy as a boxing fan, I'd love to see it.
Won't we all, mate? But if they did, let's say if they fought tomorrow, who would at this moment in time, who would you have winning that fight?
at at this very moment in time, I think you'd be very silly not to say Dalton. I
Mm,
think at this very moment in time, just from what we've seen both do, you can't argue that Dalton would be the one coming on top in terms of like credentials and what he's already done. Um, as I said, we're yet to see the best of Azim. So I'd like to see a little bit more from him. He looks incredible. I have no doubt he's up there to be a world champion as well. So yeah, I just need to see a little bit more from Azim. I think it's a little bit too early for Azim. I think it's the right time to pick it up for Dalton. Do you get what I mean?
yeah, yeah, hundred
What do you
percent.
think? Same.
Yeah, I think at this moment Dalton, because I think he's been in there with the better caliber.
Yeah,
He's worked his way up from English, and then he's worked his way through these titles. Made quite comfortable work out of that British scene. Can't lie.
yeah,
Yeah, and he's bringing more big nights to Sheffield boxing, and I can imagine maybe, of course, in bigger fights to come, Hillsborough is, he'll want to headline Hillsborough. Maybe
yeah.
you on the undercard as well, because I mean,
I would love to.
you made a good a counter of yourself on Saturday night. So hopefully, fingers crossed that you're on these matchroom shows more often as well.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Obviously, with that sort of thing, I'd love to be on them shows. I'll definitely be available for any shows that come up for stuff like that. Because, as I said, I can't miss them opportunities. But at the same time, I need to keep my career rolling on.
Yeah, you want to stay
So,
active because
yeah, so
you
I'll
don't
stay
want to
on.
just you don't want to just wait until um you just don't want to wait around. You just want to stay active and just see what comes about, you know?
Absolutely. As I said, I'll always be available for them matchroom shows, even if I've fought quite recently before, because they're opportunities you can't miss. And really blessed that I get them opportunities. But yeah, I'll be still rolling my career on, still getting fighting regular, especially at this sort of level. Obviously, when the level step up a little bit, obviously I'll be fighting a little bit less. But as I said, I'm 32 years old, so I can't afford to take my foot off the gas. I really need to keep the momentum going in my prime years. So yeah, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I get the call for them matchroom shows, especially them big shows in the local areas, that'd be amazing. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, mate. I forgot what I was going to say now. Hang on. Oh, my mind's gone blank. Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah. So overall, a good night for you, would you say?
Yeah, very good night. Obviously, would have happy with my win, happy with Jimmy's win. Obviously, a bit gutted with Terry, but she went out now. She's healthy and safe, so everyone's okay. Yeah, so a very good night. Really enjoyed it. Got some amazing messages from people, from credible coaches from Mallorca and places like that, which is just nice. Just it was a
So you're
nice
getting
event.
known all over
Yeah,
the world now, mate.
getting some good. Yeah, I got some good messages. I got some of my old pals popped up who like live in Dubai, and they said they had the pub full watching the fights and stuff in Dubai and stuff. So yeah, it was really overwhelming, to be honest, and sitting back and just realizing how many people are keeping an eye on my career and stuff. It's great. It's really, really, really fantastic.
Hmm. I know you've only fought on the weekend, but I'm sure you're itching to get back out already. When we expecting you to be back out, May, or just see when the phone rings?
I'm going to be out. As it stands, we're looking at June. The end of
June.
June, I'll be looking at fighting again. And that will be at one. We'll be doing a catch weight of 156. So I'm going to be looking at trying to jump down to that 154 category at super welter.
Oh yeah,
So
because you said that in our interview in the week, didn't you?
yeah. So I weighed in 158 on the show. So I'm only £4 away. I was only £4 away from super welter, so it'd be silly not to try and make the weight. So we're going to do a catch weight next fight at 156. See how I find that cut, and then make a decision from that. Really. So the end of June, most likely be at the Magna Centre, will be a good goalpost to see where I'll be campaigning at weight class wise.
Oh, good to hear, mate. And is the Magna Centre in Rotherham?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh yeah, you fought there quite a few times, haven't you?
Yeah, fought there quite a few times. There's a couple of shows coming up there next. I think 2 weeks time. Stablemate Joe Gartside fights for an area title at welterweight, so that'll be a good watch. So yeah, I'll be up there to watch that. But yeah, it's a great venue. Steffi and Ryan put on a nice show up there. A lot of my fans enjoy that venue as well, so it's like a second home.
Good to hear. And as always, before I let you go, mate, do you want to thank manager, trainers, sponsors, friends, family who support you, just anybody?
To be honest, I've just fought Antas, so I've put big statuses and loads of messages thanking everyone. They all know they mean the world to me, my sponsors and my team, my family. They're all there. So yeah, I'll leave that to social media. The list is too long, and I do you know what? I don't like doing it just in case I miss someone out.
Yeah. Next time you have a big list in front of you.
Yeah, I'm going to next time be prepared because you messaged me a little bit earlier to start the interview. I just got through the door, so
Oh yeah,
I couldn't prepare today.
that's all right, mate.
No worries, brother.
But yeah, thank you for your time, mate, and well done on Saturday, mate. Great
Not a
win.
problem at all. Thank you very much. Hopefully, have a few more interviews with you. Some big news.
Thank you, mate. Bye.
No worries, brother. See you later. Bye.